Hi guys, this is Klazart being another audio commentary, and this is Game 6 of SKT1 versus Samsung Khan, and SKT1 on the ropes and in trouble. They are 3-1 down, and a victory in this matchup for Jangbi will put Samsung Khan through to victory in this matchup. So that makes it a must-win matchup for Fantasy representing SKT1, and I'm looking forward to this game. Wow, who would have thought that Jangbi could have overcome Bisu in the way that he had? That was just absolutely incredible game, and great harass by Jangbi. He just really had Bisu on the ropes the whole time, and Bisu just didn't know where to go. Anywhere he stepped, he fell into a trap, ultimately, Jangbi proved to be his undoing. His opponent, Fantasy, is no slouch, however. He lost in a very close OSL finals last season to Stork, nonetheless. So it was 3-2, and so I guess there are some question marks, perhaps, over Fantasy's Protoss versus Terran versus Protoss, but the fact that he lost just barely and to Stork says a lot for his skills, and we know just how devastating Stork is, Terran versus Protoss. So this is going to be a good game. Jangbi is showing some real skill and showing that he's quite on top of his game. Fantasy's been picked as SKT1's representative on this map, and unfortunately for SKT1, they don't really have any players left except for Fantasy Zen. Obviously, Boxer isn't yet back into the fray. Alav Uvi hasn't been playing great for a while, so they're forced to send out Fantasy. And the disaster for them is that this map has a 70% Protoss versus Terran win ratio, if I'm reading the statistics correctly, and that is scary. So there's clearly something with Medusa, and a lot of it to do is with the fact that you can drop a Reaver behind the mineral lines of the Terran player, or you can drop Storms, and that sort of harass is just something that really helps Protoss players out. We've got Fantasy starting here at the 10 o'clock base playing Terran in blue, and we've got Jangbi playing Protoss in purple at the 2 o'clock base, and the SK team mascot with the SK team fans still hopeful that they can pull something out, but they've lost two of their two best players. They've lost their champions, and now they need Fantasy to pull it out for them, and to level up the score to take it to a final matchup. And it'll be interesting to see if Fantasy does manage to beat Jangbi here, whether Samsung Khan will roll out Stork, whether they will unleash him and let him have a go at Fantasy, which would be the epic rematch of the OSL finals, and it would be entertaining to say the least. I'm sure Fantasy would like that. I'm sure he would like to win this game and force Samsung Khan to play Stork just so he can get a little bit of sweet-tasting revenge. But nevertheless, this game is about Jangbi versus Fantasy, and hopefully we're going to get a good game from both of these guys. I'm looking forward to watching it. I haven't personally seen Fantasy play a lot of StarCraft, so I'm looking forward to seeing his style and seeing how this latest protege of the SKT1 Terran machine is coming out. One thing I wanted to tell you guys just before I forget, because I've been meaning to talk about it throughout this entire series, and I keep forgetting because I keep getting caught up in the action. I want you guys to make sure you check out P1of2 YouTube channel and check out the new podcast, which is the P-Pod podcast, VOE podcast hosted by Peanut, and the first episode is up with an exclusive interview from a StarCraft commentator. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. You can get that through the link. You can get to part 1 through the link on my main page, and then you can access part 2 on Peanut's channel. So hopefully you guys should get a chance to check that out and enjoy it. Anyway, getting back to the action here. So it looks like Jangbi is scouting in the wrong direction to start with. Bisu sitting there, he just cannot believe what he's been served up, and he's got a Protoss. He's got a massive Protoss versus Protoss match coming up against the man on the left of your screen, which is Stork. And Bisu just not looking happy right now. He's got to be thinking, if Stork can do what Jangbi did to me, have I got a chance? Because he played pretty solid StarCraft in that game. Unfortunately, Jangbi was just too good. And that's shocking, really, considering how good and effective Bisu's multitasking usually is. So Jangbi coming around with the probe now, just trying to get scouted, and Factory going up for Fantasy, and looks like meanwhile Jangbi has started up his Nexus. So Jangbi's fast expanded, Fantasy's putting his Factory up and just trying to chase that probe away with his Reens, and Jangbi unable to get the scout, unfortunately scouted in the wrong direction, so by the time he got around. But he has got the second gateway up as well, and it's just a question of whether or not that Nexus is going to get scouted out by that SCV. The SCV will go up and scout the Nexus, so not fooled by the two gateways. The second gateway going up obviously quite late, not seeing any of their tech, so he's now spotted. So now Fantasy is aware of exactly what Jangbi's up to, and Fantasy putting the second Factory down, so Fantasy going for a 2-factory build, not going for the expansion after the first Factory. Jangbi with a Probe hidden away just near the temples, trying to sneak in and try and get a scout on Fantasy. He hasn't been able to get in and scout out Fantasy. So that Probe is going to try and circle around. The two Marines actually might have gone past. No, he isn't. The Probe is trying to sneak past, and he just gets taken out a little bit more, and he might have been able to get through. Machine Shop whirring away there. Probably Spider Mines being researched for Fantasy, and this looks like we might have an early attack on here. Fantasy going for the 2-factory build, and now mining those minerals outside his temples with the SCV. Jambi, meanwhile, has got his 2 gateways up, so he needs to get some Dragoons out there and get them down and try and push his opponent down, push his opponent back. The problem for him is he's not aware of what build his opponent has, whether or not Fantasy has gone 1-fac into CC, or whether he's gone for the 2-fac build. There's no way Jambi knows, and Jambi now pushing down with Zealot and a couple of Dragoons, and great play by Fantasy, just luring them away with the SCV, just not allowing them to get up the map, and obviously Jangbi keen to deny the scout. Fantasy just pushing a little bit forward with a siege tank, 4 Marines, and now finally the Vulture pops out. He obviously needs that if he's going to be able to push effectively. He's going to need the Spider Mines. Maybe he's going to try and lay the Spider Mines behind his opponent's path and try and trap them, and Jangbi's going to be forced to retreat here. The 2 Dragoons and Zealots running into, and now he must have a clue. He must know that his opponent has got 2 facts, because he's seen the Vulture and he's seen the siege tank as well, and that's got to give him a clue that he's going to come under pressure. And very hard push coming down from Fantasy, just pushing Jangbi back, and Jangbi being forced all the way back to his base, not able to fight a retreat in depth strategy at all. Spider Mines being planted along the way by Fantasy's got another siege tank and Vulture heading in, and Jambi might find himself under siege here a little bit. The advantage of this map, Medusa, the other advantage is that the natural expo is in such a protected location. Yes, you can bust the temples, you can break the temples down to get up there. There's a pylon there as well, over the cliff, so Jambi will be able to see. He's planted a pylon in the right direction, so Jambi will be able to see if his opponent tries to come up the rear from behind. Jambi pulling a couple of Dragoons there just in case. Siege mode up for Fantasy as well, now sieging those temples, and it's going to be difficult for Jambi to defend this. One of the things what I was trying to say, one of the great things about this map, Medusa, obviously, that favors Protoss players, is the fact that you can put up that Nexus in such a protected location, and that even if the Terran is pushing, they can't really get to your natural expo as easily, which would be where the Terrans usually would start to siege up if a Protoss player fast expanded. That's where the pressure would arrive from a Terran player. And Jambi, meanwhile, just trying to take... And so the temples are gone, and it looks like we might have a push here from Fantasy into the rear, from the rear direction into Jambi's base. And Jambi bringing about 4 Dragoons out to counter that. Fantasy's left a couple, and Fantasy's actually heading for the front door. Jambi's blocked it with a couple of pylons. So Fantasy forces Jambi around the back by busting the temples, and then turns around and heads for the front door. There's 2 pylons that are blocking the path from the Dragoons, but the Dragoons are forced back, and Jambi's going to struggle to defend here. His main is going to come under fire. If Fantasy can get in siege range of his mineral line, he can put a lot of pressure on Jangbi, and Fantasy now setting up siege tanks. Jangbi doesn't have any Zealots, he doesn't have Zealot bombs or anything like that. Meanwhile, Fantasy continues to put, and neither does he have, and oh my god! Brilliant Spider Mine takes down 2.5 Dragoons, and that's going to hurt Jangbi big time. He didn't try and run the Dragoon in. He's managed to kill out one of the siege tanks. He's just about holding. This is going to come really down to the wire. Fantasy, meanwhile, spreading out Spider Mines. He's got reinforcement driving, and Jangbi's going to be forced back with the 3 Dragoons. The Spider Mines force him back. The tank's being repaired, and all, but there is a shuttle out, and he's just trying to get something to load up in the shuttle to drop onto the siege tanks because the Vultures are gone. 2 more Vultures arrive in reinforcements, and the Dragoons, oh my, the Dragoons get sieged just as soon as it pops out. Jangbi tried to use the Dragoon to lure, and the Reaver is out for Jangbi. I didn't see the Reaver pop out at all, so the Reaver's out for Jangbi, and that's critical here. He's going to try and drop the Reaver, and he should be able to just about hold off this attack. And if he holds off this attack, you've got to say that he's going to be a prime candidate for winning. Great block as well on the Vulture on the ramp. Reaver shot going off, taking care of the tank, pushing it back. Jangbi, unfortunately, still doesn't have anything to see those Spider Mines with, and that's crippling him a little bit. Hit from the siege tank, takes out one of the Dragoons. Two Vultures now up the ramp, and Jangbi really coming under intense pressure. I'm surprised he hasn't got taken out yet. Dragoon takes another hit from the Spider Mines, and now the Vultures, 2 Vultures